Well, hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Great to be here. As always, today's Wednesday, 26th of March. Almost at the end of March, aren't we? This weekend coming. Don't know about you, but here in the UK, where we are in Gloucester, very nice day, 16 degrees centigrade. Spring is definitely in the air. It's a lovely day out, as you can see from the light streaming in through the windows behind me. Let's bring you straight up to date then. OES Onpassive, nothing new in that area, but there was an update today from Marty and Chris on their live a couple of hours ago. Please make sure that you go and listen to it. I wouldn't say it's a warning, but it's certainly some words of advice to not many of you, only a couple, only a few, but it is words of advice that you should heed. We know that there's changes coming. We know that we are going to have a new phase of Onpassive, and what we want is for as many people to be part of that new phase of Onpassive. And obviously, if you are going against what is the right attitude to have for Onpassive and going against your NDA with negativity and all the rest of it, then obviously the company has every right to terminate your account because at the end of the day, if you are a founder, you have signed your NDA. So go and have a listen to it. Needed to be said, to be honest. There's an awful lot of things being shared around that people know they're not true, and instead of finding out or dismissing it, then they are sharing it, which is, it's just exasperating an already very difficult scenario. So welcome, welcome. Good to be here as well. And again, today we're going to go over what makes a winning formula. This is part 2, and we'll see how we get on today. There might be a part 3 tomorrow, and then obviously Friday Q&A. Already got a few questions coming in. If you want a question answered, you can either contact me on redfern1@gmail.com, or you can pop it in Messenger to me. Then I will obviously let you know on the answer to it. Remember, my answers on it are only my opinion. They're certainly not something that's come from corporate, and I will do my very best to answer them openly and honestly. Okay, let's get going then on what makes a winning formula. And yesterday we went over a few things, vision, goals, all that sort of stuff. And today we're going to move on to a couple of other ones. And this is developing key skills and habits. Very important as far as having a winning formula is concerned. Why? Because if you have bad habits, guess what? They're going to accentuate. They're going to accentuate your bad habits within business as well. So it is very important to have the right habits and also to have your right skills. Now, skills can be learned. If people say they can't do it, that is them not learning at all or not wanting to learn. Everybody has the ability to learn. Saying you can't do it is really not even trying, in my opinion. Okay, if people try and then they say they can't do it, then that's absolutely fair enough. But learning new skills is exactly what it says on the tin. It is learning a new skills. So part of developing key skills and habits is the first one out the hat is belief and mindset. Cultivating an optimistic and resilient mindset, believing in your abilities and your ability to overcome challenges is very, very important. Why is that important? It's important because of really what Marty and Chris were talking about today. There is an awful lot of negativity about, and if you are not resilient, if you do not have belief in your ability to succeed, then you are going to literally fall by the wayside. You are not going to roll your sleeves up and dig a little bit deeper. You will get sidetracked. You will get hoodwinked even into believing what these people are saying, rather than sticking to your own guns, your own beliefs of what is possible within yourself. And also, with that belief comes the belief of what you are doing, for who you are doing, and these are part of your goals, what you are trying to achieve. Remember, we are in a unique situation being on this journey of Onpassive because we have seen so much along the way. We've got to know our CEO, we've got to know his um, honesty, his integrity, his determination, certainly to make this work. And this is why part of what you need to have is belief and mindset. You need to have that resilience, an optimistic attitude, and to believe in your abilities, because our CEO certainly believes in us. He believes that we're all capable. He believes that we are all going to be successful because of what he is doing. We need to take a little bit of that as well and use it as part of your winning formula. If you haven't got that, then it is going to make your struggle even harder, because you are constantly second second guessing yourself. You are having this roller coaster within your own mind of, am I doing the right thing? I might have heard something, and you end up going down rabbit holes of looking at something, and you start getting very confused and a little bit pickled, because there's so much information, and you end up being in a situation where you just don't know what is true, what is not true, what to believe and not to believe. This is very dangerous as far as you achieving your goals is concerned. If you have that resilience, if you have that optimistic attitude and your belief, then you will weather that storm. If not, there's a fair chance the storm will get you and it will sink you. And that's not what we want. We want as many people as possible at that starting line when we're given the green light to go again. That's what we're after. Part of that, guess what? It is staying around positive people. It is making sure that you hang with the right crowd rather than being sucked into a negative Nancy environment. Not good for you, doesn't help you, and it's certainly not going to help you develop your skills and habits that you need to have that winning formula. Learning and growing really is an important part of having that winning formula. Why? Because nobody knows everything. There is always room for learning new things and developing new skills. Continuously seeking knowledge and developing new skills to stay ahead and adapt to changing circumstances is certainly part of a winning formula. This is a little bit why our CEO is telling us well in advance that there is going to be changes. Why? Because things change. You know, part of that learning process is knowing and also acknowledging that times have moved on, innovation has improved, there's new things that have come along, and those need to be not only adapted into the formula of the business, but also need to be utilized within the apps that we are going to be using. This is why change is going to be inevitable if you are learning and growing. Why? Because as you learn and grow, you blossom, you become much more of a knowledgeable person. You are changing yourself. I've said on many occasions that my journey of Onpassive has changed me immensely. I have evolved. I have become much more of a confident person, that's for sure. I'm very lucky that I can remember quite a few things. And this is where I try and empower you guys to stay the course, to be with us all as well, and to learn the things that I am learning on a daily basis. Another part of developing new skills and habits is action and persistence. Take consistent actions towards your goals and persevere through setbacks. It's never going to be a flat line in an uphill direction. It's more of a up, down, back down, up, down, forward, forward. This is healthy. This is good. There's nothing wrong with it. But the main importance is to keep on going. The time that you stop is the time that you fail. If you are keep pushing forward, if you are keeping engaged, if you are keeping learning, if you are developing new skills, if you have any setbacks along the way, guess what? That resilience, that determination that we talked about beforehand, that kicks in. You brush yourself down mentally or physically. You give yourself a good talking to. You say, don't be so stupid, and you go again, regardless of what and where you find yourself. You're not going to succeed if you stop there. The main importance is to keep moving forward. This is why I think our CEO always tells us, don't look at the past, don't look behind you, always look forward. You can't change the past, you can't change as what has happened, but you can change what is going to happen. And that is where you step up to the mark and say, I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm going to change that because it didn't work. I'm going to learn from my mistakes. All of these scenarios are you growing as an individual, is gaining you your knowledge, is helping you to be more determined, and it's certainly giving you that persistence that you need to keep driving forward. We've talked about 2 feet from gold many, many times, but this is all a part and parcel. Now, these are not words that I'm making up. If you go and search what you need for a winning formula, what I'm talking about will be there in black and white. This is something that's been well documented. It's something that's been well researched. And this is what sets us apart from other people. I said to you yesterday or the day before, we're all entrepreneurs. Every single one of you that is on here today, over 250 of you, is an entrepreneur. Why? Because you've made that decision to better your life. And you've decided, how am I going to better my life? And then you go searching for something. And along came Onpassive, and you decided, this is the one for me. This is the one that feels right for me. This is the one that I can lay my hat and go with. This is you being an entrepreneur. Otherwise, guess what you'd be doing? 9 till 5, accepting your lot. This is what stands us well above and apart from the crowd, because we are not accepting that that is our lot. We know somewhere inside you that there's more for you. It's not just a procession of a life and then you die. We want more. We want some of the finer things in life. We want our families to be secure. We want to be able to have the nice things, the nice holidays, cars and the houses, etc. But you have to do something about it. This is where every single one of you have become an entrepreneur in your own rights, because you have made that decision. Also, the last part of developing key skills and habits to have a winning formula is adaptability. Oh, let's struggle with that word. Being able to adapt to new situations and challenges and learn from your mistakes. This is you, as I've said before, pivoting, learning, changing, going with the flow. And as you adapt with the changes, then you will be able to navigate your path a lot easier, because you've learned a lot of things along the way. You've learned that you have done things that didn't work. So you're not going to do those. You're going to go in a different direction. You don't have to learn that one again because you've already learnt it. So you go somewhere else. And guess what? That might be the better route. And this is where you need to have that persistence. You need to adapt to the changes that happen in front of you, because if you don't, then you end up sinking rather than swimming. It's all interesting stuff, guys. It really is. Another one of what makes a winning formula is leveraging your strengths and resources. It stands to reason, doesn't it, that people feel more confident if they are working towards their strengths. Why? Because it's something they know, it's something they're comfortable with. If you are stronger right-handed, guess what hand you're going to be using? Your right hand. Why? Because that's your strengths. If you are stronger at maths, you tend to do maths types of things. If you're stronger at English, you tend to do English kind of things. And this is what you should do in business to a certain degree as well, is leverage your strengths and resources. Self-awareness is part of identifying your unique strengths, skills, and experiences. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people don't have a good look at themselves and analyze themselves of what their strengths really are. I'll give you one example. Pat Parent, right? We all know Pat Parent, right? When you speak about Pat Parent, what do you say about her? Okay, we all say she's a lovely lady, she's really strong-willed, she keeps on going. But the one strength she has that she has seen in herself and she utilizes is her belief in God, right? That's always been there. She was one of the first to be extremely open about her beliefs. And guess what she did? She had a look at herself and thought, what are my strengths? What is it about me that is part of my strengths? And that is her belief. And guess what she's done with that? She's made a YouTube channel. She's made webinars. She's done all sorts of things that all revolve around that strength within her, and that is her belief in God, because that's her strength. That's her happy place. It's where she's very confident. Okay, whether it's because she's reads the Bible a lot or her belief in what she's doing, and that's where she has been extremely in tune with her strengths. Everybody has one. For instance, for me, it's cooking. I'm a chef by trade, and that is an area that I'm extremely confident in. People ask me questions cooking related, I know that I'm quite happy in that environment because I've done it for 40 odd years. And this is where you look at yourself and think, what is it actually that I'm really, really comfortable with and strong at and good at? When you earmark that, then you can use it to be able to identify those strengths and skills and your experiences. Also, learning and leveraging your strengths and resources also come with strategic planning. Develop a plan to leverage your strengths and resources effectively. It's all very well saying, I know what my strengths are, but if you're not going to if you're not going to implement them into what you are trying to achieve, then there's no point, is there? Because you are not actually using those strengths. So once you've identified what your strengths are, what you're good at, then you need to come up with a plan of how am I going to utilize my strengths within my business environment that I can then leverage to make things easier and better for me. Also, the last one on leveraging your strengths and resources is resourcefulness. Find creative solutions and make the most of available resources that you have. If you remember, a way back when COVID was on, Jane and I did Connecting by Cookery, and we did a daily podcast about cooking various dishes, etc. There was a lot of reasons why we did this. It was to keep people together, give them an interest, hopefully me divulge a bit of knowledge for people to cook on their own, because in those, when COVID was on, you couldn't go out, nothing was open, all the rest of it. But also part of it was me finding my strengths, knowing my strengths, and utilizing that as part of what we were doing. I also then saw, well, what can I use? How am I going to put this into my plan? And what resources am I going to utilize to make all this happen? We had the glamping site, I had a kitchen, and we did it all with a mobile phone. We didn't have any fancy gear. We didn't have any audio or good lighting or anything like that. We did it literally with Jane holding with her hand a mobile phone. And guess what? It worked really, really well. But we went down the route of putting a plan into place, using the resources that we had at the time to be able to produce something that is actually pretty good watching. It still gets watched now. I've still got, I think, 4,000 or 5,000 people on my YouTube channel on Connecting with Cookery. I get messages on there and all sorts of stuff that people keep going back to. It was great fun. But that is what you need to do. You need to be resourceful with what you have. There's no point in, the expression, all the gear and no idea. How true is that? You can go and buy all of the best of everything, but if you've got no plan of how you're going to utilize it and implement it within what you are trying to leverage, then there's no point. It's better to identify your strengths, your skill set. How am I going to put this into an operational? By having that plan and then using the resources you have around you to implement that plan for where you want to go. Like I said, all really interesting. The next one then of what makes a winning formula is building a supportive network. Collaboration and teamwork, surrounding yourself and supportive with talent and individuals. This is kind of what we're doing right now. This is exactly, where we're at really with the community of Onpassive. This is the network, isn't it? This is the group of people, the collaboration of all of us together with that one goal of making a success within our ecosystem of Onpassive. This is what you need to do to be successful. There's no I in team, is there? We need to make sure that we are together collectively all winning. Like I've said, I'm going to make sure that I get my business going first, but then I'm going to double back round again to help as many people as I possibly can to find their way within the new phase as well. So that is all part of knowing that individually you can achieve things, but collectively you can achieve great things. And this is what our CEO, Ash Mufareh, wants to do as far as humanity is concerned. Individually, he already does an awful lot. We've seen him going to lots of places, giving out foods and blankets and water and all these sort of things. That's an individual effort that makes a difference. Of course, it does. But collectively, with a network and collaboration of everybody, you can do great things. This is where Onpassive comes in, and that community really does make the difference. Also, membership and guidance, mentorship, not membership, and guidance. Seeking guidance from mentors and learning from experienced people is one of the key ways of making a successful formula. Why? Because you want to learn. People want to learn. And the best way of learning is from somebody who knows more than you do. This is not you kissing ass or making someone feel good. This is you being extremely up and honest about everything, saying, I want to learn. What message or what can you give me so that I can learn this? Then you are well on your way of utilizing everything around you to give you that new skill, that new knowledge, so that you can implement it, leverage it, and then set out a good plan of what is going on. We'll do a couple more. Part of the last part of building a successful network is networking. Building relationships with people who can help you achieve your goals. The Onpassive community is a fantastic community. We pretty much know each other now because we've been speaking to each other for a very long time. But it doesn't have to stop there. Branching out into other areas within other communities and making new collaborations and networking other people is always a really good idea to learn new ways, to learn new skills, to learn something that is going to help you on your journey within business and being an entrepreneur. When someone says the same thing over and over again, you don't necessarily listen to that one person. But when somebody new that you haven't or you don't know says the same thing, guess what? You listen a little bit more. They might say the same, but in a different manner. They might have a different delivery, something that resonates more with you and you understand it a little bit better. It's the same message, it's the same outcome, but the difference is you have understood it better than it was before. This is because you have gone out and networked with a different crowd of people than you have in Onpassive. There's lots of groups of mentorship, maybe, and other business-like people. There's breakfast clubs. There's all sorts of things that you can get involved with that will give you that network of people that you can utilize to learn new things as you're going along. All of these tips I'm giving you guys are going to help you to be certainly focused on your goals, but more importantly, giving you a formula of something that is going to work. And like I said, I'm not making this up. Go and Google what makes a winning formula. Start reading about it. And all these things that I'm telling you now will pop up. They're all part and parcel of that formula of success that has been well documented that works. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. Excuse me, for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for being on. It's been great to see you. We'll do one more round of this tomorrow, Thursday, and then we will have Q&A on Friday. Like I said before, if you've got any questions, redfern1@gmail.com or in Messenger, or come along on the day, same time, 11 a.m. for you guys over in the States, which is 3 p.m. UK here, 4 p.m. for people over in Europe. Okay, would love to see you. And if you've got any questions, you can come along, put it in the chat as well. That's it from me. Have a great Thursday wherever you are, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Bye for now.